All right, guys. So during this little section here, this is going to be obviously done live. Um, and what we're going to talk about is I want to talk about reflections. And I figured that since I could just be in this material space, it'd just be easier to deal with. Um, but I'm going to make a, basically I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab like a basic cube and just drag this guy out. Maybe increase my grid snapping a little bit, like to 5. Okay, just going to drag this out. There we go. Thing's enormous. That's good. It'll give me rooms to play with stuff. And I'm just Alt uh, dragging and rotating, by the way, just in case you guys are like, how the hell are you making that new thing? Pretty straightforward. But it won't be if you don't know that. So it's Alt W. I don't know why I think it's straightforward. It's actually not Alt W, but Alt and just move. I'm actually kind of interested in why they chose to do that, because Control C and Control V does the same thing. It's very interesting. I think it's a holdover from some of their earlier stuff, but whatever. Okay. So I like this. This is kind of one of the easier ways I think it is for at least for me to understand reflections and that kind of stuff, and just general like I guess metalness and whatnot. So what I want to do here is I'm going to take this sphere here that we have. I'm just going to drag him in to here. And I'm actually going to make this a little bigger. This is actually going to turn into a little like room, just so we can see what the hell's going on. Again, this is one of the nice things about working in this editor and kind of just how straightforward and simple it is to do everything, is that you can really work quickly on the fly. Now again, remember I'm working in like a combination of local and world space, so when that gizmo looked all weird, that was because it was in local space, right? So local obviously responds to the local or the local position of the asset. Okay, so I'm gonna walk around here, and so I don't want to walk over there every time because that's, well, a waste of time. So I'm gonna take this player start here. I'm just gonna drag this guy right on over here. So now when I Alt P, I'm here, right? Save some time. Okay, and so let's go ahead and build this really quick. Okay, and I'm going to find that skylight here. And let me knock this thing down a little bit. So, yeah, there it goes. It's too much bounce for this little demo thing. Okay, so what I want to talk about in here is, well, is reflections. So if you notice in here, outside of this space, you can kind of see this kind of happening as I get further away. But that sphere is picking up a reflection, right? And where it's picking up its reflection, if I type this in, we have this box reflection, right? And what these things are going to do is it's going to look up to the nearest box reflection. And you can actually see this kind of messing up here. If you can notice how it's a slightly brighter in this corner. Okay, so what that's doing is that's basically saying, hey, there is a, like, I'm looking up to essentially a cube map. It's right here. And it looks 360 degrees all the way around it. Not really. It does probably like a cube projection, so it actually looks at up, down, left, right, back, forward, and all that kind of stuff. It stitches it together. Well, it does that definitely for the box. But that means anything that's within that is going to look up to the cube space, or to the cube map. So if you have a separate environment, like an indoor space, you're going to want to have a reflection cube in there, and you're going to want to have a reflection cube that is kind of just, or a reflection box, depending on what you're after, or a reflection sphere, I should say. Whoa, that's weird. It made like 3 of them. And you can see it kind of, the lighting's changing a little bit. But typically, why are you not scaling, dude? What the hell are you doing? Oh, there it goes. Typically, what I like to do is I like to kind of keep the reflection cubes and stuff kind of within an area. And they can be kind of a, I don't want to say a pain in the ass to place, because they're not really a pain in the ass to place. They're pretty straightforward. Why are you not scaling? Because that's weird. My computer. It's taking like a obnoxiously long time to do anything. Look at that. That sucks. I have no idea why it's doing that. It's probably because Camtasia's running or doing something weird. I'm blaming Camtasia for all my issues from now on. But you kind of want to keep it within the space. This is going to take a little bit of time. Sorry, I don't know why it's like dragging like crazy. Okay. And since reflections like add so much to like scenes inside of Unreal, I do recommend that you do that. Now, like when you have like a new sphere or whatever, like when you do a lighting build, automatically like the lighting builds go in and will recapture the all of the um, reflection data. Okay. Otherwise, like if you don't want to rebuild, you just hit this and it'll update them all globally. So it's kind of nice. Some Z fighting like cray cray. There we go. So let's see what this looks like. Let me show you guys, and I'm just gonna play around with this a little bit. I don't remember what I painted this guy with the vertex color. Let's just see. Does he have the right material? Hold on, I'm just setting up the floor to be shiny, or at least I think I am. Yeah, that looks better. What the hell? Whoa, cool. Oh, it takes off the post. Neat. I don't know why we'd want it to do that, though. Anyway. Let me see here. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to save time. I'm just going to look at the damn material. We are looking into this guy. It is looking at the red, I think. We'll find out. Why are you not blending? And it's not even giving me the proper display mode. What the hell, dude? Is it because I don't have it selected? That shouldn't matter. I love when you're doing demos and you're recording and stuff goes haywire. I'm going to pause this for... Okay, yeah, that was weird. But I guess it was just because there wasn't enough vertices on the ground or something. Weird. Anyway, no, I mean, it's not weird. That actually makes a ton of sense. Anyway, let's put some other things in here so we can start to see it a little better. Let's go grab our Motorhead cube with Doom. Actually, we'll just do the alt drag. Okay. I'm going to put this like probably like right here. And I'm going to make this a little bigger. There we go. And let's go ahead and update the capture for that. Should see it there. Okay. Now, this, if you can see it, two things going on here. We have an actual reflection capture that's actually picking that up, and it's like a baked-in capture right there. Let me see this guy really quick. Okay, and I'm not exactly sure 100% of why that isn't doing that. I can't now. Might be just me being stupid. The one thing that I can't seem to find documentation on is real-time reflection cube maps. And let me double check to make sure. Yeah, no, the cube maps are the reflection cube maps are only controlled via the post process, like a real time essentially, and that's controlled under post process. If you type reflection, you get this um, look up to the reflection cube map. Okay. Now there's a couple controls here. Obviously you have a quality control, and the further that goes down, the worse it's going to look. But you also have this max roughness, which kind of will control the maximum amount of roughness of the surface, along with the actual shader input. Okay. So keep that in mind as well. And I do not believe this should matter, but let me double check. Yeah, okay. So it doesn't matter if it's dynamic or static on that part. Okay. And I'll put a few more guys in here so we can kind of get a better understanding of reflections and why they are really, really nice to have and why you guys should be using them, and how to use them. Obviously, so the nice thing about reflections in general um, is it tends to make the scenes and environments feel more believable. Screen space reflections, just reflections in general. Even the static cube map ones work totally fine. They're not as good, but they work. And the reason for that is because reflections are essentially everywhere in the world, right? Like, I mean, this is all stuff that you guys know. Um, but I'm just going to throw this guy around for a little bit so we can kind of get a better sense of this. Cool. Okay. And again, these things do fall apart in some regards, right? This is still a game. And there is ways to get much more accurate um, reflections, but I don't necessarily think that they're the cheapest, so I'm not going to show you. Like, you can actually use a real-time camera to try and to capture it, but let me just show you guys kind of where this stuff starts to fall apart, right? You notice that we're not picking it up. That motorhead thing is not moving in the reflections, okay? Now, if we get closer over here, we might start to, we can see it here in the actual floor and stuff, but again, it's one of those things where it is an optimizational thing where from what I understand, it's not as accurate. You can see that it gets it more accurate as it goes closer to the surface and whatnot. Let's see. What else is pretty useful? That looks cool. It looks all stretchy and weird. Let me just nuke this guy really quick. And we talked a little bit about this, but I'll do it again just to put it under, just to talk about it again. Okay, so let's say we want this in here. And I'm going to set this up, we need to save. And let's go ahead and go under here under our project settings. We're going to go under rendering. Right there. And we're going to restart. Okay, and we're back. And I'm just going to scale this guy back down. And again, expect that to take, oh man, what the hell is going on with this? I expect that to take a little bit of time too, by the way. 1.2, thank you, 0.2, okay, doesn't really matter, it's flat, just leave it at 0.2 just so, I don't think it's going to let me scale it. Yay, it did. Why did it let me do that? That's buggy. It's interesting. Anywho, if you wanted a more accurate reflection, though, obviously you could do something like this. Now, again, this is really good for doing things like water. And there's a few settings in here that you can go ahead and play with, but let me just hide the actor in here. Make sure. I don't think it's going to show the reflection, though, if the actor's hidden. Let me double check. Yeah. And if I do that, kind of come back in here. There it goes. Cool. Okay, so it doesn't even really matter because it doesn't show up actually in the editor anyway, which is nice. All right, and let me throw a couple more things in here just so you guys can see it. Now, this stuff, like again, is expensive. Okay, guys, like you have to be careful with it. And I'm not just saying that to like, oh, it's everything's always expensive. Um, in this case, it is. Well, um, ooh, wait a minute. That's weird. Why are we not seeing that? Let me double check that guide. Delete this. Do visual effects. Planar reflections. There we go. I don't think it mattered the actual placement height. There it goes. Cool. Again, the thing's outside, so it's picking up the sky and stuff as well. But it can get expensive, so be careful with it. It looks cool, though. Admittedly, it looks cool. The other thing, too, is, and again, we're not even using planar reflections here, and we're getting it from the actual ground, from the vertex stuff. We're getting those highlights from the vertex ground, so it's kind of nice. Here, this will be a little better of an indication of this thing up there. I'm just going to throw this shader on the ground. There we go. Okay, it's expensive though. It's got to re-render the world twice, and it's not flawless. Like I'd expect to see reflections bouncing back and forth on that, but whatever. And it's just an approximation, but it's really cool. Like if you're doing like water or whatever, like you can really kind of do some cool things with it. But it can be expensive, of course. And you know, when you're trying to figure out what reflection captures and stuff to use, remember, think of it like the space you're in: box, box, sphere, sphere. Yeah, pretty straightforward. The other thing too that we can do on our reflection captures, let me just find. Whoa, why are you all the way over here? Oh, I didn't save it. Damn it. Uh, that's okay. I'm sure it's going to be faster for me to scale shit than it was before. No, it won't. Let's just say 50 or 5 by 5. There we go. Good and small. So there's also this box transition distance, right? That can control. That's how much. Yeah, there you go. That's like how far out it's gonna go. Let me just double check that. There it is. Where are you? We should have another control though for that. There it is. So that's where it's gonna fade out. That's like kind of essentially think of that as like a light. And these are our sizes, right? So take that down, take that down. Okay. And let me put this back at 100. So one of the things that we can do, I'm just going to kind of do this in my little dark room here. And let's go up here to content and just do HDR. Well, let me do it. Or do I need to specify? I need to actually make a cube map. Let me see if I can pull up the cube map. Here we go. So let me just change this to, here we go, specified cube map. And actually, maybe we should have this outside so you can see this. And I'll just put this at like 300. And I'll grab this. Not that one. Basic. Let me grab another sphere here. Make that guy 50 by 50 by 50. Or not. Oh, it's an empty actor. It's not even a sphere. Oh, there it goes. 5 by 5 by 5. 5 by 5 by 5. Okay, dude, what the hell is going on? Oh, it's because I have all of those locks on. Turn that off. 5 by 5. It's getting late. Okay, And we'll just do, actually we'll grab, since we'll just set this up here for that, we'll just do one for right now. And I'll just do a new material. And we're just going to put the metallic on this guy all the way up to 1. And I'm going to set the roughness to 0 as well, so it overrides it. Save that. And we'll just drag that on top here. There we go, just add a little bit of like shininess onto it. Cool. Okay, so this guy has that custom cube map, okay? So obviously this cube map is different than the outer world, okay? Some other things to talk about on the cube map is obviously we can adjust the brightness, which is kind of cool. If we really wanted to have like a really nice, intense HDRI scene, we could do that. The other thing too is, if you notice here, let me just cube. Just kind of move that around. Okay. Basically, these two domains are blending over each other, which sometimes you might want, like especially in a transition space. This is actually kind of a pain in the ass, or it used to be. In some engines, like in Source 1, you couldn't do this. Like, it would pop. It's a hard transition. So, thank your lucky stars. Let me just see if, I think it's under Editor, Project, it's under Rendering. Let me see if it's under here, Cube Map. Is it under Reflection? Okay, yeah, so this is the resolution for the reflection captures, okay? Be careful going apeshit with this, guys. Like, you're going to get more detail on the reflections, but it's more expensive. Like, so don't put like a 4096 in there. So obviously you can see here, the reflection is much nicer, okay? So if your guys' reflections are like not being the nicest off of the cube map, that's where you would adjust it. Hello, displacement shader. What else with reflections? I think that's pretty much it. They're pretty. I mean, they're really powerful, guys. I mean, you can do a lot with them, and it's a really great way to really just make your scene kind of come alive a lot in a lot of cases. So let's just put this in here and brighten it up really quick. Looks like it's a light. It's kind of cool. And oh no 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 no! I wanted brightness. Did I screw it up? I did. There it goes. Oh, it's right on top of it, that's why. Yeah, but see it's shining through on the floor. The other thing too is there's debug views for you guys if you want to see like how your what your cube maps are doing. That's useless. Let's see here. Unlit only. Buffer visualizations. Metallic, nope. I hope it didn't break in this. I've had like the roughest luck with some of this stuff. Because reflection should show reflections. Let me double check in this view here. Overview. Yeah, I think it broke. There's a metallic. There's our perspective. Close that down. Lit. Well, we should be able to see reflect. Okay, and I don't know why this got changed. I don't remember changing anything, but if you hit use default, you'll be able to see reflections. God, that was weird. I wonder why that didn't work. But this is a good way to kind of debug it and see what the heck's going on with your reflections. So again, here you can see our cube map that we have, or the custom cube map. It's pretty cool. Awesome, guys. So I'll probably group this into the material section just because reflections and materials and whatnot. But hopefully you guys kind of followed along with that. We talked about reflection cubes, custom cube maps, materials, reflection planes, and whatnot. It's kind of a quick overview, but hopefully you guys learned some fun stuff.